Super Smash Brothers
Multiplayer gaming has two elements that are very important to keep everyone engaged, an element of skill and an element of party. Skill rewards players who dedicate time to really analyze the mechanics of a game, whereas party elements reward people at random. This helps level the playing field. No game combines these two elements as well as the Super Smash Bros. Franchise. The GameCube installment Melee is a fan favorite, and for good reason. To this day, there are still pro tournaments that are centered around Melee. The competitive community is actually crazy. For a game that was made in 2001 to still have such a large following is unheard of. I like to think of myself as a Super Smash veteran, and I'm someone who rarely loses amongst my peers. However, I've watched some videos on YouTube of professional tournaments, and I literally cannot comprehend on what's going on the screen. Just check this out. Super Smash only incorporates 2 attack buttons, but the variations that are implemented between all the characters makes Melee such a deep game. The reason Melee is my favorite installment in the series is beyond nostalgic reasons. It's actually due to the physics. I said earlier that Smash has the intention of being a party game, but Melee unintentionally became this hardcore deep fighting game when items are turned off. Nintendo nailed the weight of every character. A lot of what makes Melee great is how difficult it is to master. In every other version, all of the characters' weight is a lot more floaty, and their movement on the ground is slower, so it's easier for the players to time their attacks. In Melee, there's the teeniest window for when you're able to hit your enemy for an aerial attack, and also when you're vulnerable to attacks. When you're able to string together some attacks for a combo in Melee, you feel like a god. That is due to the frantic pace. Melee is for those with quick reaction times. My favorite character in the game is Falco because he can cover a tremendous amount of air. It can be difficult to time some of Falco's attacks due to how high he jumps, but once you get the hang of his movements, it's super enjoyable to play as him. Despite the fact that Fox is faster and a lot of his attacks are stronger, but I'll get into that in a moment. This learning curve might turn off newcomers, and especially if they're introduced to it against a veteran, but even if you're new to Melee, I can't recommend it enough. For all you newbies out there, you should consider hitting up one player and going through Adventure Mode. In Adventure Mode, you can go through every classic Nintendo world, but with your favorite Nintendo character, like going through Mushroom Kingdom as Falco. I have logged more hours into Melee than any other GameCube game, so there must be a reason for that. When Melee came out in 01, it blew everyone away with how many modes, features, and characters there are. Is it a perfect fighter? Not in the least. There are balancing issues. For example, Fox is basically a cheat code. If you say that your best character is Fox, then you're a baby who doesn't actually know how to play video games. With that being said, there are still a second tier of fighters like Marth, Falco, Jiggly, and Sheik who make up for some great competition. There's actually fan-made tiers that are implemented in tournaments, so you should definitely look that up if you're into competitive gaming. Super Smash Bros. Melee is the most difficult to master in the franchise, but it's also the most rewarding. As always, thanks for watching, boys and girls, and let me know in the comments who's your go-to character in Melee.